Suan Bangoshe, your host of the segment Calypso Generation Next, where I will feature persons in TNT who have made and continue to make a significant contribution to the art form of Calypso.
CARICOM is wasting time. The whole Caribbean gone black.
Welcome to Calypso Generation Next. I am your host, Suan Bangoshe, for this segment, and today we are on location live at Ateliers on the Sutton, located on Sutton Street here in San Fernando. Well, of course, today inside this segment, I have a lot of greats for you, including the very, very handsome and energetic Mr. Platinum himself, Mr. Emerald Philip, also known in the Calypso arena as Brother Valentino. Welcome, Brother Valentino. It's so good to have you with me. Of course, I have to thank you so much for being part of this segment, Calypso Generation Next. Let's just jump right into it. The name Brother Valentino.
The name Brother Valentino, Kitchener gave that name to me. But the People's Calypsonian, Black Stallion is the first man to introduce me on stage as the People's Calypsonian, which is a name that stuck on me. I stuck with it, and we became part of each other. So anytime I say the People's Calypsonian, is Brother Valentino.
Yeah.
Brother Valentino is the People's Calypsonian, and it's a name that I cherished, and I will always cherish.
Yeah.
And very proud to carry that name, the People's Calypsonian, because maybe of the line I took in my career.
Yeah.
Mostly dealing with the people's business, seeing about the people's affair, saying things that people can't say for themselves. You know, sometimes the people need a voice. And especially in that era, it was so vital. The voice was so vital. I'm not saying I was the only voice, but you know, I was one of the voices that stood out. And maybe the people accepted me as their voice.
Right. But do you think, before we get into the nitty-gritty of things, do you think that there's another Calypsonian out there who can actually take the name, the People's Calypsonian?
No, it could only have one People's Calypsonian.
Only one?
Yes, it could only have one People's Calypsonian.
And that's you?
Yeah.
Now, you've been in the industry for, let's say, roughly about 50 years or so, and you've done a tremendous job. And getting into the heart of things here now, inside Calypso Generation Next, I want to ask you, in terms of your contribution to the art form of Calypso, how beneficial do you think it has been so far for those that are in the younger ones who are in the arena right now?
Well, it's been more beneficial to the younger ones right now than it was to us, because in our time Calypso was a struggle. I will tell you something, Suan. My first pay in Calypso was $2.50.
TT?
Yeah.
Or US?
No, $2.50. We used to work in a Calypso tent on Park Street.
Okay.
They used to call the Big Bamboo tent. Now, in those times, Park Street was the action place. That was the street.
Okay.
Everything used to happen on Park Street. And this guy had a nightclub called the World of Astoria. And he used to host a Calypso tent from Wednesday to Saturday night. And we used to go and collect all of $2.50 in Frenchie's Market on Frederick Street on the Saturday.
And so this is just once, like once per week?
Yes, that's just to tell you, I mean, why started and how Calypso started.
Right. Now, there's sometimes when we would have request shows, and if you go to any party or any event and you know you're able to request a particular song or particular Calypso, or if you go to perform, there's one particular song that everyone wants to hear, and it's Life is a Stage.
It's so, I mean, I record Life is a Stage in 1971 in KH Studio in Silots, and never knew that it would create this impact. Today, from generation to generation to generation, and it looks as though it will deal with some more generations.
And you know what I call songs like that? Timeless.
Yes, you know, and sometimes people ask me, Valentino, why you come up with that song? And would you believe when I come with that song, my mother made a tear on my face because I was very young, you know? Yeah. And to come up with that, you know, it took some experience, which I didn't have.
Yeah.
So I just always say sometimes we get our gifts in different ways.
Yeah,
But
we do.
I feel life is a stage, is a gift I got from
I agree with you, and I want to get down into little bits and pieces of your life right now. So I don't know if you'll give me permission.
Feel free.
No Trini's already,
Feel
right?
free.
In terms of playing instruments, being a musician, give us an idea of that, because we just know you're on stage singing,
to be very
vocal
frank,
ability.
to be very frank, I don't want my partner Shaka to be laughing at me.
Oh, don't worry about
But
him.
I can only play 3 chords on a guitar. 3 major chord, 3 minor chord. And you know, you see with 3 chords you could construct any song, you know.
Right.
3 change. A song, don't care how big a song is. It's just 3 chords, you know, 3
basics.
changes, 3
Three
basics.
basics.
And would you believe this calypso crazy, who taught me those 3 major and minor chords?
Another calypso
Another
icon here
calypso,
in
yeah.
Trinidad
Yes.
and Tobago. I must congratulate you first and foremost for hitting the platinum age of 75.
Yes, and I thank God for that because, I mean, I'm living over time, you know. I mean, really, you know.
3 score and 10 plus 5.
So, yes,
Yeah.
right now, you know, I'm on a 5 year, I'm on a 5 years grace, which I
5
thank
years
the Master
grace.
for it, you know.
I think you'll make it to a century, you think so?
Well, I really would like to go with
Look.
I would like to go with your thoughts.
Oh my, the longer you live, the longer calypso will live on.
I would like to go with your thought, you know. I would like to be around some more to, you know, to pass on what I have to learn
Yeah.
and what, you know.
What's next for Valentino?
Well, what's next for Valentino, really and truly, is my concern now is the young people. You know, you see like Mr. Shaq, Brian London, the ones who I see the future in, and a Kaiso future. Not the ones that depend, because we have a lot of young Palestinians now.
Yeah.
They depend on writers, you know. And I always feel to be the accomplished artist. You have to learn to compose the song and go and perform it.
Write it and
Compose. And
performing it.
it give you a more independent feeling,
Yeah.
you know. You could walk with your head high. I mean, you know, but we have a lot of youths now that they're very dependent on writers, which is something I'm very concerned with. I always admire the young guy or the young lady
Yeah.
who could make that effort. You don't have to be, you know, how to put it, you don't have to write no hits.
Okay.
But once you're making the effort, because one day the hit
Will come.
Yes, you know. But once you show me you're making that effort, you know, that is what I want to see Kaiso really achieve now through the young people. Not just begging.
Yeah.
You know?
I want to turn the tables a little bit now, because what we see happening is that calypso is not keeping in its original form. You realize that we have some persons adding a little touch of this and a little touch of that, a little touch of different genres into a calypso itself. What are your thoughts on that?
You see, it take away, then they're trying to water down the kaiso and add all kind of things to the kaiso, and then it won't be kaiso again, they will start to call it a different name.
Yeah.
But kaiso is basic. You're either doing kaiso or you're not doing kaiso. Kaiso have a certain rhythm, you know, a certain song. I mean, now and then you could add some little instrument in the music too. But don't try to shift the bass of the music.
Yeah.
You know, calypso have a bass. And once we operate from that bass, you know, you're into calypso. But sometimes people try things because, you know, they want to get through. You know, they try things. But they don't try nothing on reggae. Reggae have a steady music.
So you think that...
Just keep going all the time. What we have to do with the Kaiso music, we have to watch our language. You understand? And we have to try to simplify the Kaiso in a way that the audience outside would able to, I mean, you know, interpret it in a very easy way.
Yeah.
Instead of asking them, what that guy just said, he just said, you know. I mean, it should be a little more fluent to the listeners as outside.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that is one of the things that Kaiso is lacking. the language.
Language.
Yes.
You're talking language in terms of lyrics as well?
Yes, lyrics and the language, your pronunciation, your lyrics, everything, you know.
Diction and all of
Everything. You have to work on that.
Now let's talk about something really recent. The March Gras 2016 would have seen different persons that you will not expect. We call them the dark horses in the race, making it to the March Gras, and even making it probably in the top 5, top 6, with songs that you may not have, in terms of the style, may not have been in accordance to what you are accustomed to. You were accustomed to 50 years ago when you started.
Yes. And things change, generation change, and music change. You understand? I mean, I have to accept that. But when coming to as far as my definition of calypso, I would always stick to my basic, because when I reflect on the works that I put on, it was very effective, and up to now, you know, I just compare my works with certain works, and they can't come close to my work.
At all?
No. In terms of, when I used to make record, every man used to have his own instrument. Now a man go in a studio and he pick up a thing and he want to play everything.
Yeah.
Bass man, guitar man, saxophone, and everybody used to line up behind me to make record.
Yeah.
So when you listen to my music, you listen to the body of the music, the depth, you know? Yeah. And apart from that, lyrics and music used to complement each other.
Beautiful. But with that, I want to, take us to see one of your more popular ones, Life is a Stage. Just taking one of your performances now. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up here. Keep it locked. Here comes Brother Valentino, Life is a Stage.
Life is a stage, and we are the actors, and everybody have a part to play. Like a never-ending movie with all different characters, each one have a role to portray. Down to the scavengers and them baristas, all them doctors and lawyers and these ministers. So this honorable this and this honorable that, and this lady so and so. So apart all these people playing, I want you to know. So don't blame the politician anytime you find you get bad administration. That was meant to be. The fella is playing his role superbly. Now don't blame the judges for their injustice. Why blame the criminals, I say? It's a part they come out to play. I want to call Luther back here. Luther, come and let me sing this song, boy. This movie star in the Garden of Eden. The star and poster was Adam and Eve. They played their part, now they are dead, but not forgotten. When I study the role of Adam, it makes me grieve. Shows man should be able to take example and see from the beginning, woman was trouble. But then your rule is according to your script, I say, and your fate would be judgment day. And according to the part that you play, the master will pay. Now down to the little children, from the time they born, they join life, great movie. But some of us fathers, my friend, choose some wicked woman, never saw our baby. Although abortion is just an act, We be friends that do like a part at all. 20 women go boy when the curtain fall. Go down. Say what you want. Believe I'm not joking. The woman are the greatest performers for me. Their role always important, and down to their love making, these people could win an academy. They could put you in heaven, they could put you in hell. Woman could put man places, man with shame to tell. So then a man must want to kill because the party have to play is to love with his heart and soul. So you see where the females always have the better role. So don't blame Christine Killer just because she wrecked the lives of some politicians. She played a sexy character and she caught to homo with her sex reactions. So we should tip our hats to England and say hurrah for good old Christine, the greatest actress, no doubt, that the world has seen. Trinidad have some scenes that I go off on. The acting is greater than on Broadway. Not even on the movie screens. You see people perform like Trinidadians are talking about, man, how they could play. Hey, Trinidad, as we all know, chief role is Kaiso. Then featuring playing pan and dancing limbo. But for playing the part of smart man and smart woman, I could bet my hand. And for creating a big impression is a Trinidadian. Now the ambitious guy with the jacket and tie, who walks the road and hold up his head high. You would shock to know where that same ambitious fella head does go. But it's a part he come out to play, and we really can't treat the fella with scorn. And as they say, what they say, people? She sure must know. Thank you one more time again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Of course, you just viewed Life is a Stage as one of the more popular Brother Valentino selections here in TNT. And of course, those persons in the world, some people, once you hear Brother Valentino, you think Life is a Stage.
Yes,
you know, you also have Birds That Fly High and some others, very memorable selections. And of course, you know, well, you all heard it. We want to thank you so much for journeying all the way down to the Southland. The warmth of South will never change. And thank you so much.
And then it's always nice to visit my second home. So South, it was nice being here.
For being part of our and for being part of our 54 for 54.
Yes.
54 years of independence being celebrated by Trinidad and Tobago. Anything you want to tell TNT as we get ready to celebrate our independence?
Well, TNT, I know right now we're in a little drought, but as the black man say, you can make it if you try. So try hard, you know, and don't give up. Because we have to take care of we on our thing.
Yeah.
You can't expect nobody from on the outside to come and motivate us out or to come and do it.
Agreed.
You know, so
Yeah.
Trini, let's buckle up and let me move forward.
And with that note to TNT, that's where we end this segment of Calypso Generation Next. Again, thank you so much, Brother Valentino, Mr. Emerald Phillip, for joining us down here in the Southland. And don't forget, it's all about 54 for 54. No sleep, no excuses, no repeats, and no pretenses. All 54 hours long. I'm your host, Suan Bengoshi. Until next time, I think we're going to go down to another place of interest in the Southland, maybe down on the walk. I don't know where the camera guy is going to take us, but we'll see. All right, so bye. Until next time.
This world is heaven, this world is hell. This world is a very funny place to dwell. This world is too complex. This world is too pretext. This world is really not according to the text, but it's really not. The world's to blame. It's the people who should hang their heads in shame. Mankind rage in war, mankind turn in peace. No time for love, no time for peace. So it's really not the world to blame. It's the people who should hang their heads in shame. This world is the beginning. This world is without ending. With all its global warming, the world is exploding. This world is black. This world is white. Through ethnic reasons and religions, the people have to fight. But it's really not the world to blame. It's the people who should hang their heads in shame. Leaders misleading the people every day, like the shepherd who leads his flock astray. So it's really not the world to blame. It's the people who should hang their heads in shame. This world is beautiful, this world is ugly, with sickness and disease and innocent blood flowing daily. This world is bountiful, this world is poverty. This world could be a very awful place to be, but it's really not the world to blame. It's the people who should hang their heads in shame. ISIS raging war in the Middle East, Israel and Palestine. Lord, there could be no peace. So it's really not the world to blame. It's the people who should hang their heads in shame. This world and its prophecy must be fulfilled. Mankind raging war against the master's will. But so it was written, so shall it be done. Yes, this world will on and on, but it's really not the world to blame. It's the people who should hang their heads in shame. Ukraine and Russia, America and Syria, Boko Haram terrorizing Nigeria. So
remember Basil Davison, Guy Haywood, Brother Valentine, Beverly Jones, Brian Jefferson, the others whose lives went down on the line. I wonder if these people gave their lives for a hopeless cause. And for their deaths, all those responsible people, the verdict is yours. But Trini have a funny way of forgetting their history to them like it. Do me nothing. The history that went down here in the 1970s, as though it never was, today in this century. But don't care how they try to tarnish these historic memories, I will always remember the roaring 70s. Tell them to write down this one here in the pages of history. 21st of April in the year of our Lord, 1970.
Every time I go to a bank, that's the first thing that strikes me. I wonder if these beautiful little black girls, Indian and African, recognize how they get this job. Plenty fellas lose their blood and plenty people sacrifice so that we could change that status quo.
Remember when black people was denied the privilege to work in them banks? You forgot who gave you this advantage, but to enjack you should say thanks. Remember when white faces used to hold the top position? So let us all give thanks and praises to the 70th revolution. But you know this funny way of forgetting, hey, their history to them like it do me nothing. The history that went down here in the 1970s, as though it never was, today in this century. I don't care how they try to tarnish these historic memories, I will always remember the roaring 70s. Tell them to write down this one here in the pages of history. 21st of April in the year of our Lord, 1970.
Many people were killed, including my sister, as I said before, my 17-year-old sister. She was murdered in Cora on the 13th of September 1973. And then Guy Harewood and Brian and John Beddoe and, over 13 members of the organization, young people, young, brilliant.
A lot of men lived fast and died very young in this most historic decade. When Randy B used to come to town with his flying squad and parade, the emphasis was on education. And when the young folks got too bright, the same institution turned around and out their light. Trinidad, a very funny way of forgetting their history to them like it do me nothing. The history that went down here in the 1970s, as though it never was, today in this century. But don't care how they try to tarnish these historic memories, I will always remember the roaring 70s. Tell them to write down this one here in the pages of history. 21st of April in the year of our Lord, 1970.
There was also a rumor that Robinson, A&R Robinson, because he had decided to break with the PNM at that point, that he was involved in some devious plot that involved the soldiers and the Black Power people. I don't know if he had any discussions with the Black Power boys. He has denied it, but I can tell you for a fact he had nothing to do with what we did at Tetron.
Looking back on that era, I see changes that took place politically. Who left this party to form that party, and who embezzled the oil money? Some conscious black men and women, the system made them crumble and bend. And now the nation gone right back to Europe on a western trend. Trinidad, a very funny way of forgetting their history to them like it do me nothing. The history that went down here in the 1970s, as though it never was, today in this century. But don't care how they try to tarnish these historic memories, I will always remember the roaring 70s. Tell them to write down this one here in the pages of history. 21st of April in the year of our Lord, 1970.
I don't feel that what I was hoping to achieve has been achieved. Trinidad and Tobago is not the Trinidad and Tobago that it ought to be.